Yep, myself, and of course Denisa Alexei from Virtue Zone, the marketing manager down at Virtue Zone, are with you through all the way till 2 o'clock this afternoon. We've been joined by a special guest on the occasion of International Women's Day, which is celebrated tomorrow. We are talking about female-led businesses, the challenges that they are facing, with the business development manager of the Dubai Business Women Council, Nadine Di Francesca, who's alongside us. And I want to talk funding, if I can. It's always a topic that crops up when we're talking startups, when we're talking anything on the Starting Up with Virtue Zone show. According to Magnet, the research firm which focuses specifically or largely on startups, in 2023, only 23 startups in the region with at least one female founder secured deals. That was 2023 last year, compared to the 101 peak back in 2021. WAMDA also acknowledging that female-led startups are heavily underfunded here. Is that fair?
In terms of being fair, no, it's not fair. But do we need to do something about it? Yes, quickly, and yesterday before today, because the amount of amazing creative startup ideas from women are quite a lot here in Dubai. And I speak from the council.
Yeah.
But we still have an issue with access to funding. And while this amazing city continues to offer a very dynamic business environment, securing funding still remains at the top of the pyramid of challenges for these startups. Perhaps these barriers exist due to, I can only think that the reason why this is pursuing is there are factors such as unconscious biases in investment decisions. They're still going on. There's very limited access to networks that are traditionally dominated by men. That's still going on as well. And despite all the efforts that are being putting into gender diversity in entrepreneurship and promoting diversity and inclusion in entrepreneurship, these disparities are still ongoing. I can only see that if we work harder with the government and the private entities or individuals as well to try to address unconscious biases in investment decisions, create some kind of regulations or policies or something that would support that, or fostering a more inclusive ecosystem that empowers the women to actually succeed in entrepreneurship. So these are two things that could be somewhat a relief, but it's going to take time. And the only reason I say it takes time is because the mindset needs to be changed. And to change the mindset, you're going to need a lot of influence from the top down. The leadership is the biggest support of this country. But when we talk about startup funding for women, then we're talking about all the women, the expatriates and the Emiratis. And I really congratulate the country because they provide so much support for their women on so many levels. And they do have certain funds that they can go to, such as the Khalifa Fund, Dubai Women's Establishment. So Emirati women are really endorsed and supported by the government and their leadership. And kudos to that. However, we need to try to find something to also provide some kind of funding support to the expatriate startups here in Dubai. And as we were discussing off the air just a few minutes ago, there's a lot of them these days. And as I said, some of them have brilliant startup ideas, but they're still lacking that funding support.
I find it interesting, especially when we have this and again, I made the point earlier on that, we are speaking about this subject on the eve of International Women's Day. And it's great that we're having that conversation. But, this is something that you campaign for 365 days of the year. It doesn't have to be one day of focus, etc. But I think there's something really interesting you say there. Yeah, a lot of people get bogged down in the funding side of things. And yes, that can be an issue regardless. But that whole need for a sort of fresh approach to this as well. The very narrative of startups and things like that. I was just thinking when we were talking a little bit earlier on, you were talking about some of the great initiatives out there, the need for greater mentorship and things like that. Why do we call it mentorship? Why can't it be women-torship as well? It's this sort of male focus all the time and taking it to sort of different levels.
That is fantastic. I think I'm going to hijack this and I'm going to start using it for the Dubai Businesswomen Council. So there we have it. My team's listening in. So ladies, we have some work to do. We're going to shift the name from DBWC mentorship to DBWC womantorship. So I think, no, listen, mentorship is very, very important. And as I was saying earlier today at another speaking engagement I was at, you do not have to have something official from your organization that says, okay, here's it, sign these papers. We would like you to, be part of this mentorship program. You want to mentor, you can do it. I mean, I mentor my team all the time. I get mentored by my boss whenever I get the chance to sit and talk to her. My husband is one of my mentors as well. So there shouldn't be like a systematic approach to it. Just go for it and speak to whoever you think could really add value in your life. But when it comes to mentorship, we're very passionate about that at the Dubai Businesswomen Council because we've seen the proof in the pudding. Through the mentorship cycles that we've brought to the members, we were able to see amazing results. Results in, first of all, the confidence level of the members is boosted.
Yeah.
Second of all, the access to the information that they were given was phenomenal. Some of them were even introduced to diverse networks through their mentors.
Yeah.
So it's like somebody really taking you by the hand and helping you try to overcome weaknesses that you're suffering from in your business or in yourself, which were serving as obstacles to your growth. And so I think it's imperative that everybody gets into a mentorship program.
Denisa, your thoughts?
Yeah. I'm actually very interested. We talked off air as well, and I was telling her that I did attempt at starting my own business a few years ago, and I had I was unaware of any potential support, mentorship, a women's group, or any group for that matter. And we're talking about how we see this increase in entrepreneurship, the culture overall. And I was curious, how do you market this for people who are women or men who are looking into starting a business in Dubai? If I were to start today, how would I find more information about joining the Dubai Women Council?
You could always visit the website dbwc.ae, and we're also on social media. We're on LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter. I can't say much about Facebook, but we're quite active on our social media platforms. But when it comes to advertising, we don't really market the council because we rely on word of mouth. Because if I have somebody like you join the organization as a member and you're adding so much value by just, maybe providing us with ideas, by being part of our mentorship program, by coming up with solutions to certain, challenges that some of the members are facing, just creating that, ecosystem of great women coming together, you will bring in another person who's like you, a friend, a colleague, a relative, a neighbor, or whatever. So we believe that the power of this word of mouth connection can really bring in the right caliber of businesswomen to be part of the council. We give so many programs. We train so much. We help them so much accelerate their businesses. And in return, what we want is we want also members of the council to reciprocally give back to this community.
Yeah.
There are so many people out there listening in for advice as well. And who better to proffer that advice than the Business Development Manager of the Dubai Business Women Council? Nadine, again, let's take advantage of what we come together to discuss today. Let's take advantage of what we celebrate tomorrow as well. But what is your message to the female entrepreneurs out there? Those that haven't made the jump there yet, those that still have that burning ambition as well, those that are trying to work out whether this is the right time or not to make a jump into their passions. What's your message to them?
My message to them is, first and foremost, you need to remain authentic and true to yourself. This is very important. You cannot allow any circumstance to shake that or change it. Another thing is you need to stay hungry to learn. We are living at an age where we're rapidly being introduced to all this generative AI and this new wave of technology that's taking over everything we do. So we need to educate ourselves. How do we do that? The best way to do it is either by reading, by surrounding yourself with a group of people who can make you more or make you better, and of course affiliating yourself to a network or an organization who can actually help you be amongst these people who can empower you and help you learn. So also very important advice that I also want to give out to everyone is the importance of compassion and empathy. Still, human relationships and human contact is very, very important. I don't think anything can beat that. It's also very important that you integrate the element of compassion and empathy in order to secure really good, long-lasting, positive relationships moving forward. And it even helps with the way you pitch your businesses. If there's authenticity and compassion in your voice and your tone and everything that you do, you're more trustworthy. And when you're trustworthy, everybody wants to work with you. Everybody wants to have you on board or partner with you.
Nadine, we're going to ask you to stick around if you can, because I know that you are doing a lot of work in the sort of AI sphere at the moment, specifically with regards to startups. The reason I'm going to ask you to stick around is because we've got a couple of questions coming in with regards to AI and AI tools. We'll address those with Nadine and, of course, with Virtue's next.
Weather check.
With Air Arabia. Save big this March with Air Arabia. Fly